Jace Denman here. I'm with head coach of the MSUM Dragons, Steve Laqua. Coach, big win on the road last week. It was a game you were favored in, but it's still great to get that first road win of the year. What can you tell us about that victory down in Marshall?
Well, like you say, it's great to go on the road and get a win. It's always tough in this conference to get wins at home or on the road, specifically on the road. I think we went down there. Honestly, played really great defense, really great in special teams. I think those were the kind of the swing points for us. I think offensively maybe had some more bottom end plays that we haven't had in the last weeks, and that maybe showed up and maybe felt like it wasn't as clean, which it wasn't. But at the end of the day, I think we're 36 out of 51 and completed 71% of our passes and 350 yards. And so overall, pretty solid day. I think at the end, a win's a win. We're glad we got that and ready kind of move on to the next one.
When we look at probably some of the negatives of that game, obviously was some of the turnovers. It looked like, from my vantage point in the press box, they tried to bring some blitzes off the edge early on. So when a team does something like that, not that it wasn't expected, but is it kind of coaching the guys up, kind of getting everybody to pick up those blitzes so we can give Jack a clean pocket?
Yep, absolutely. They did a couple different things, and they're good coaches and had some things schemed up, and caught us off guard a little bit mentally on some of the rules that we got caught on, and got a couple times clean shots on Jack, or at least forced a free throw. And so definitely that's been a point of emphasis for us this week, of going back, making sure that everybody's on the same page, not just the 5 offensive linemen, but the running back in the protection's got to make sure that he understands who his guy is and make sure that job gets done.
When we look at Winona State this week, obviously you've talked in the past, they're a tough physical team. Do you think that they think that away from that Marshall plan as far as blitzing Jack a little bit more, because obviously you're playing with fire when you blitz a guy like Jack Strand. So when it comes to their defense, what do you kind of see in general terms related to that defense?
Well, they're definitely an aggressive defense. They got really good players. They got a great scheme with great coaches, and so I think they lead the league in sacks. They'll come after you. They certainly find different ways to do that, whether it's just the front four who do a great job getting pressure, or it's designed blitzes. And so certainly we've got to make sure that we got our quarterback protected so that he can do his thing. And if it is going to be pressure and there is going to be some openings in the back end or some matchups, we got to find the favorable one and make sure we got the right calls that we can have a dart to the heart and have a deep shot that maybe takes him out of that, or discourages him from wanting to be in that.
When we look at the Winona State offense, at least statistically speaking, last week it kind of almost looked like it was almost either 2-1 or maybe 3-1 as far as rushing yards versus passing yards. So obviously a run-first type of team. So does that increase the importance of getting out to a lead, at any point? Because we've seen this Dragon team kind of either start off quickly or start off a little bit slowly into the second quarter. So is it important to get a 2-score lead against a team like Winona that probably prefers to run the ball?
Well, you definitely want to make sure that defensively we're coming out and we're solid against the run. That's kind of an anchor that they want to hang on to, and they want to set, and they want to make sure they can build off of that. And so defensively, you're trying to get them out of things that are their strengths. And so we got to try and take that strength away or limit it as best we can. And obviously, starting well offensively and defensively is a key to every single game. But in this case, we got to make sure defensively we're doing it well. Offensively, we got to be better starting. We have not started well here in the last few weeks, and just got to be more consistent, put a drive together a little bit better than what we have in the last couple weeks.
Two of the last 3 games of the season are at home. The first regional rankings came out. Just as far as the conference goes, there's 4 teams listed in that top 10. What does that say about the quality of gameplay here in the NSIC?
Well, it's a tough conference, as you have some of the top teams in the conference, in the nation, or in the conference, and so it's a meat grinder every week. You can kind of see that as teams beat each other up each week, and you battle to the end, and you see some scores that surprise you and some that don't, but they're always close games, and we've seen that this year. Every single game's been a close game. We've had some battles. This is a very interesting battle in the sense of us being 5-3, them being 4-4. They were a playoff team last year. It's really kind of trying to make a decision of, hey, what pack do we want to run with? The kind of those top teams at the top of the pack? Are we going to be in the middle of the pack? And I think both of us this week are kind of right on that edge of what pack are we going to fall into. And this is kind of a key game to decide, who's going up and who's going down to those as top pack or middle pack.
Does this game, in a sense, I mean, is this a motivational point for the team to say, look, if we get this win, we're at 6 wins. That gives us, ensures us a winning record for the season, puts us in that top half of the conference. You know, maybe keep some other postseason things kind of at least alive. I mean, is there any motivation in saying, hey, look, this is, if we get to this, then we for sure have a winning record, and we've kind of turned the page, obviously, from last year?
Well, I think the biggest motivation is, these guys ripped us apart last year 40-7. It wasn't even a game down in there, and we haven't beat this team since 2015 when we opened Shields Field. So it's been a long time since we've been able to come out on the right side. So I don't know that we're caught up in anything else besides this is a team that's had our number for quite a while. They certainly had our number last year and took it to us physically and on the scoreboard. And so we need to make a better showing than what we did last year. And I think that's the motivation that's driving us. Hey, we need to be better than last year, and this is the one chance that we have to do it against this team is this week on this Saturday.
We've obviously at the radio station, we've been keeping an eye on this wonderful storm and this wonderful potential snow we have in the area. So now when the weather changed, we've had some beautiful weather through the first 8 weeks of the season. When you have a weekend like this where it's not so much the weather itself as the fact that it's kind of a bigger change from just a week ago, how does that play into getting your team prepared for the weather and also kind of the mentality of kind of overcoming that discomfort of cold weather?
Well, the good news is we only recruit a 300-mile radius, so these guys are aware of what cold weather is like. Our practices in spring ball, Tuesdays and Wednesdays all spring long, are at 6 a.m., so it's certainly a lot colder than what we're going to play in Saturday. So for these guys, I think it's just kind of another day at the office. It's certainly different than the last couple of weeks. We don't got to worry about anybody cramping up, but it's nothing that, it's not a temperature that's anything different to us. It's just like going out there and Tuesday or Thursday morning spring ball practice. There's just going to be a lot more people watching us and a lot more at stake.
Well, that's good. Well, Coach, best of luck again this week. We'll be calling your game and rooting you on from the patio up there at Shields Field. So best of luck, and we'll be seeing you on Saturday.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I'm Jace Denman for Flag Family Media. Have a great day.